beverages, milk, water. So I think, and some refreshments, so they will be very well taken care of.
Oh, very interesting.
We have, I must tell you, we have a celebrity MC who's coming from India, from Mumbai, who's going to conduct the proceedings. She is a model. She is also someone who's acted in television serials. She's a blog writer. So she's coming from Mumbai and she'll conduct the proceedings in English, and we have someone who will do it in Thai. So it will be a very special event, and it is right at the gate, at the grounds of Chulalongkorn University. So it's a very historic setting, a beautiful setting, and I think it will be a wonderful way to welcome the summer solstice, International Day of Yoga, and of course to commemorate the first occasion on which this is being held.
Yes. Oh, can you run down, like supposing anybody can walk in, or what? They have to register?
Absolutely. No.
Register?
It's open for anybody. You can walk in between 6:30 and 7:30 anytime. Preferably at 6:30 because it takes a long time to process people and to bring them down.
All right.
But what we have is there are hundreds of volunteers who very kindly agreed to associate with us. There are volunteers who are yoga instructors, 150 yoga instructors or volunteers. They will be with groups. That means with every 50 people, there will be one instructor.
Wow.
Of course, our instructors will be at the stage. They will be performing there, and the camera will pan them, so we will see them on the big screens. But to supervise, there will be group instructors for every group. So 150 of them will be there, and then we have hundreds of volunteers who will escort people, help people, facilitate people. And Chulalongkorn University, who are partners for this event, they have made lots of arrangements for ambulances, for other facilitation. So essentially, I think it will be an excellent event involving lots of people. Another thing I must share with you is that it will be telecast live in India.
Oh, interesting.
We have tied up with our television channels, and with the government has provided a link. So as the program begins and people wake up in India, because when we start at 8 o'clock or 7:30, it will be 6 o'clock in India.
Yes.
So as they wake up and they watch their television, they will see in Bangkok, Thailand, commencement of celebrations of the International Day of Yoga. And I think we'll be among the first there. So that's wonderful that we start with that, people in India start by seeing Thailand. So that is there. Of course, lots of television channels like yours are very kindly covering it even in Thailand. So we will have an excellent coverage, and we hope that lots of people who are there will be able to see themselves on television. So it looks like an event that would be full of fun and excitement.
Not only Bangkok, but how about other the world? They also have a transmission like that?
Well, everyone has to. I mean, I think all our embassies are arranging whatever they can. I don't think everybody has a direct link, because the fact that they may not have connectivity, they may not have the television channels. We are lucky we have some Indian channels that are here and they are ready to broadcast. So if those conditions are fulfilled, I'm sure many of them would be there. The idea, of course, is that as the day goes by, people will see different stations, depending on the timing, as to how yoga is being celebrated in Egypt or in Hungary or in Australia or in Norway. So it will go on, and that's how it will be. But being in the Eastern Hemisphere, where the sun begins, 21st of June will start with us. We, I think, have the advantage of time.
Longing to see that. You see, it must be
It should be very interesting.
But so your government, Indian government, what is the expectation of the outcome of these important events?
Yeah, well, the expectation is very simple, that we want to popularize yoga. We want to make it available to the common man. Today, yoga is available, in yoga schools all over the world, and it's very fashionable to go and do yoga. But we want to make it such that even a person who's, not someone who can afford to go to yoga school can also practice yoga. So essentially, what we're doing is promoting and propagating yoga, that it becomes something that people can use. And in a country like Thailand, which has a very long tradition of historical linkages with us, yoga is much easier to assimilate and to make it part of
it has nothing to do with religion.
No, it's nothing. I think it has been very clear that yoga is non-sectarian, it's not religious. It is just a traditional regimen which people have used to maintain their health, and it's a holistic way of living, but it has nothing to do overtly with religion. You'll be happy to know that out of the countries that have co-sponsored the resolution in the UN supporting 21st June being declared as the International Day of Yoga, are 47 members of the Organization of Islamic Conference, which means there are 47 Islamic countries that have also co-sponsored the resolution. So it is obviously not something that is objectionable by any standards. It's something that is available to all. And we are having very large response to our International Day of Yoga celebrations in Egypt, Indonesia, Malaysia, lots of countries in the Gulf. Even in spite of Ramzan, this is the period in which there's fasting. A lot of people will break their fast and then come and perform yoga. So I think it's something which is universal. It's not. We are not claiming that this is Indian. We feel that this is our gift to the rest of the world. It has come from India, and this is something we are happy to share. But it belongs to everybody, and it does not belong to any religion. Someone the other day asked me when they interviewed me on a TV channel. They said, "Is it a Buddhist tradition?" I said, "It's for everyone. It's whether it's Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Muslim, Judaism, anything. This is something that is compatible with all religions, with all practices, with all different cultures and societies all over the world."
Your Excellency, mentioning about the Muslim Islamic countries also accepted this. But how do they know? Because it is something which is, do they be studied about it or made known? How do you make known to them?
In the UN, whenever there's a resolution, everyone studies it very carefully. It goes back to the headquarters, they study it, they ask what is yoga, what is this practice, and they find that this is something which is very easily supportable. This is something that we can go with, and so obviously wherever a decision is taken of that nature, you endorse. You don't just support a resolution by voting, you also co-sponsor it, which means that you are part of that resolution. You see, it's a resolution which is initiated by India. Then say Thailand comes and says we want to co-sponsor it. That means we are part of your sponsorship of this resolution. So 177 countries have come forward and said we are partnering with you on this resolution. So it not only means that they've accepted the resolution, they've approved the resolution. It means that they have wholly and solely been part of the decision to make yoga an international day, which means that they fully agree that this is a practice that they can conform to and they can happily accept as being part of society.
India is so famous that I have to touch a little bit of other thing, like not only yoga thing, but Ayurvedic. Ayurvedic. Can you just want to say something like that? Is that the one kind of the thing that you want it to be internationally accepted?
Well, I'm happy to tell you that when our Minister of External Affairs, Mrs. Sushma Swaraj, who's one of our very senior ministers, is coming to Thailand later this month on a bilateral visit at the invitation of Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister General Thanasak. She will be signing an agreement, or rather we will be signing, India and Thailand will be signing an agreement on Ayurveda.
Yes.
That means an Indian institute with Rangsit University will sign an agreement on cooperation on Ayurveda. So we're very happy that a university of the stature of Rangsit University has identified Ayurveda as a common area of collaboration. Where we will do research projects, we will do work together, we will promote and let's say work together to take Ayurveda to people in both India and Thailand.
And you have no reserve rights for that, Ayurveda?
Rights are something that happen when people want to keep things for themselves, or you want to make commercial value out of something. Pharmaceutical companies discover a drug and they have intellectual property rights. These are practices that we, on the contrary, we want to give to, we want to spread to everybody. So we want to share with everyone.
So broad-minded.
So there are no rights in this. I think we are happy to work with everyone who has an interest in using these holistic and ancient traditional remedies, which all our countries have. See, Ayurveda is something that we have, you have ancient traditional. So what Rangsit University and our institution is going to do is to bring them together. We will see what are our things, and there will be many common points. And there will be many new things that are being done in Thailand, which are herbal remedies. None of them use anything by way of chemicals, things that are today increasingly used and which sometimes have side effects. This is something that is natural healing process. And I think I sense that people are going back to nature, to a more simplistic way of life, which is, as I said, more simple and sustainable. Then you come back again to yoga because that's where it begins. So yoga, Ayurveda, Unani, various systems of medicine, traditional well-being, traditional health, traditional healing are all compatible with our ancient traditions and ancient way of life.
Very interesting. And you were mentioning that we have some guru from yoga guru here, so we would like to invite them. Can they show us? And
can I just say one last thing before
yes,
we do that?
Yes,
is that we have also invited famous guru in Thailand called Guru Buddha Charan, who's based in Chiang Mai.
He's an Indian?
He's Thai.
He's a Thai?
But he's studied the Vedas, he studied the ancient linkages between our two cultures.
Okay. Yes.
So he's going to come and he's going to chant a few ancient mantras, as we call it, in the beginning to invoke the right spirit.
Okay.
And he is someone who has done great study of both Buddhism, and Hinduism, and also how yoga fits into the ethos of our countries. Okay. So we're going to take it from him. But then, of course, we're very happy to have our exponents who are here, two of our leading experts on yoga with us today on the stage.
So please welcome the guru of the yoga guru, very famous person right here. We'll have a look. Please.
Thank you.
So Ambassador Shringla, so kind to bring along with him two yoga experts or guru, yoga guru here. Please welcome Mr. Naresh Kumar Nada and Mr. Ahmed Khanna. Welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for welcoming us. First of all, now we are going to demonstrate some of the yoga practices, but before going into the demonstration, let me tell you that yoga is not just about the exercises. It is a way of life. It is a science of healthy living. The aim of the yoga practice is to overcome all kinds of sufferings of life, which leads to freedom in all walks of life, that leads to freedom with and lead you to the ideal health, happiness and harmony. We are going to demonstrate a 5 minutes yoga demonstration about the Surya Namaskar, which is a series of 12 steps, one after the other. There are 12 dynamic postures. So we'll start with the first step, stage 1. The name of this posture is Pranamasana. Then comes 2. You go for backward bend, and then comes the Hast Uttanasana. 3 is the forward bend, the Padhastasana. Mind you, if you have a stiff back, please do not attempt this practice. Then for 4th step, Ashwa Sanchalan. 5, Parvatasana, or we may call it as a mountain posture. 6 is the Ashtanga Namaskar. Your 8 points of the body are in contact with the floor. Bhujangasana is the 7th step. 8, now again the repetition of most of the practices. First comes the Parvatasana, then comes the Ashwasanchalan. 10 is the Padhastasana. 11 once again for the Hastuttanasana. 12 is Pranamasana. Now if you see, these are the practices which comprises of the 12 steps. We are welcoming the sun, it is a part of sun salutation. This practice, if performed dynamically, it helps you to improve your vitality, to improve the power, and you may feel that the power of sun is within your body. Now we are going to demonstrate the advanced practices which up to one can perform, and one can come up to this level after the continuous practice of yoga. So we begin with first practice is Trivikramasana. This is all are the higher practices of yoga. Now from the Trivikramasana, he is going for the Ek Pad Skandasana. He is not a piece of rubber. He is a normal human being just as all of us. This is the Ekpad Skandasana. Then from Ekpad Skandasana, this is Omkarasana, which we call it as Om. From Omkarasana, now comes the Uthit Kurmasana.
Goodness. So
Then Yoga Nidrasana. These are all the series of practices, one after the other. From Yoga Nidra Asana, Konasana. Hanumanasana. Bhunamanasana. Now comes on the handstanding, Kaundinyasana. Requires a great deal of strength in the upper arms, the shoulders. Titibhasana, a firefly posture. The name of this posture is Padmabakasana. Padma Mayurasana. Now coming on the headstand series, this is the Padma Shirshasana. Shirshasana, headstand. Vyagrasana. Adho Mukha Titibhasana. Now, the practice of Noli, in which we churn the abdominal muscles. It is a very good practice if anyone wants to get rid of the obesity, and if anyone suffers from high blood sugar, that is the diabetes mellitus, it is a very good preventive practice for that. See the amount of pressure he is exerting. It is toning the entire gastrointestinal organs. Thank you very much.
Wow. Oh. Your Excellency, nobody can do this. So difficult, yeah?
Well,
how long you used to practice this?
For 10 years.
Oh, 10 years. Good. Well, so you're very healthy. You have no disease, nothing. Wow, congratulations. Congratulations.
Yoga is essentially a preventive science.
Very interesting.
Suppose if you are a hilltop, okay, and there is people come here as a picnic, and if anyone falls down, there is a big hospital, there are plenty of things outside, ambulances are kept ready. But if you keep a fence around this stage, then nobody will fall. This is what yoga is all about. It is essentially preventive. It helps to prevent many of the diseases.
Thank you very much. We are so good to be closer. So Thailand today would like to thank His Excellency Sringrao so much for joining us and with a warm heart to bring them here. Thank you so much, Excellency.
Thank you.
So Yoga is a practitioner with a something new in Bangkok. So we'll be at the venue for the first International Day of Yoga comes in June 21st.
Chulalongkorn University.
At Chulalongkorn, yes. So get your gear and then see you at Chulalongkorn University. Thank you very much for being here once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you
thank you for watching. Thank you for watching Thailand today. I'm Kusuma Yotha. So we hope to see you tomorrow. Sawadee ka.
Today, all schools of yoga around the world can trace their origins back to one of these principles.
And on this note, I would like to invite His Excellency, the Honorable Harshvardhan Shringla, Ambassador of India to the Kingdom of Thailand. Though many of you would already know him, I'll give you a very short introduction. In the course of his diplomatic career spanning 30 years, Mr. Shringla has held a variety of positions in New Delhi and in Indian missions in Paris, Hanoi, and Tel Aviv. He's also served as Minister in the Permanent Mission of India to the United Nations, New York, and as Consul General in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and Durban in South Africa.
ค่ะลำดับต่อไปนะคะจะขอเรียนเชิญท่านเอกอัครราชทูตอินเดียประจำประเทศไทยค่ะท่านทูตฮาร์ชวารันชวิงลานะคะขึ้นบนเวทีเพื่อกล่าวอะไรสักเล็กน้อยเกี่ยวกับงานในครั้งนี้นะคะซึ่งสำหรับท่านทูตฮาร์ชวารันชวิงลานั้นก็เคยประจำการอยู่หลายที่นะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นสหประชาชาติค่ะรวมทั้งที่โฮจิมินห์ซิตี้ประเทศเวียดนามนะคะเดอร์บันที่แอฟริกาใต้ค่ะขอเรียนเชิญค่ะ Please, Ambassador.
The Honorable Ambassador Shri Harshvardhan Shringla ji.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Kopkan Watanavangkul, Honorable Minister of Tourism of the Royal Government of Thailand, Professor Pirom Kamol Ratnakul, President of the Chulalongkorn University, my fellow ambassadors and representatives of the United Nations, yoga gurus, exponents, practitioners, friends, Namaste and Sawadee Ka. I have a prepared text, but I thought I should start by sharing two confidences with you. The first is that many of us here, before leaving our homes, would have wondered whether our event would have been washed out by rain. My colleagues have been worried about this for days on end. But my confidence that I want to share with you is that I was never worried.